Welcome, everybody. This is the gamification of trading. Well, as we all know, there's a large community of interest in trading, as is a large interest in gaming. So I guess we've dared to ask the question, well, what would happen if you put those two things together? Well, this is a presentation of our journey on this road. We hope you find it interesting. Just to introduce ourselves, my name is Louis. I'm an engineer at heart. My background is electrical engineering, telecoms, and these days you'll get dragged into software engineering, whatever you do. I guess that's all about understanding the world around us and rebuilding those fundamentals into something different and hopefully useful.
Hello, everyone. My name is Richard. For the past 15 years, I have been a professional trader and investor. And I came into trading in a slightly unusual way from the world of competitive chess. With that said, let's get into it. Okay, so firstly, the question is why gamify trading? So I'm going to hit you with a statistic here about retail trading. And this is one that you might have heard. 90% of traders lose 90% of their capital in 90 days. Source unknown. Whether this is true or not, we don't really know. The only people who know are brokers, and they're clearly not going to reveal the truth about that. So let's just assume that if it approaches anything like that, it's a pretty dismal outcome for most traders. And we feel we can do better. You know, there are some horror stories of people losing large amounts of money. One of my friends, ended up losing about £100,000 in about 4 months. Now, he started out, actually doing well, making, I think, about £40,000 in the first couple of months. I suspected what was going to happen, and unfortunately it did. What it kind of boils down to is that when you start out trading, you misinterpret the rules, and then you think that the objective of the game is to make as much money as quickly as you can. This is not the objective of the game. The objective of the game is to lose the least amount. Obviously not in the long term, but in the short term. And if you actually make money in the short term when you start out, it often leads to a disastrous outcome. I'm saying often, the experience for most traders is not a particularly good one in the end result, and it's not very enjoyable. Now, we think we can do better than that. We can provide a way of, being introduced to markets, trading, having fun, understanding markets, realizing how you might perform, and having the opportunity to win some money along the way. So let's have a look at how gamification, what attributes gamification has. And number one, the most important thing, no trades enter the market. All the trades stay on our platform, and everything is ring-fenced. Number two, traders are ranked against each other. Now, this is a fundamental principle of gamification. Instead of traders measuring their own performance against the market, they're ranked against each other. Number three, a prize is awarded to the top ranked trader. Now, clearly, in any game, there is ultimately a winner or the person at the top. Number four, levels and unlocking content. If you go back to sort of retro gaming back in the 1980s, if you remember Pac-Man, Sonic the Hedgehog, if that was more your era, or even back to the 70s with Space Invaders, there's always a principle. If you get to a certain point because you have skill, you get to see things that other people don't see, and that's kind of cool. Now, currently, we haven't built that into the platform, but that's certainly possible. And finally, or fifth, I should say, social interaction. This is always an important part of gaming. Even at a very basic level, playing snakes and ladders, the joy of that is playing with other people. This is a big aspect of gameplay. And finally, achievements and badges. This is very similar to actually number four. You take the world of chess, for example, it has levels built into that. For instance, you get to a certain standard, you would be an IM or international master or grandmaster, or you might be a national champion or what's known as an expert in the US. So let's have a look at the difference between market trading and gamified trading as we have implemented it on the platform. And firstly, in market trading, as you might be aware, if you've done any trading, there is no limit on your losses. Now, I'm not so much referring to individual trades because you can put a stop loss in, but on total losses, there is no limit. You can carry on funding an account and lose more and more. And no one really cares whether you do that. Certainly, brokerages don't care. on our platform on Trade Arena, gamification, we have a low monthly subscription. Number two, real-time data. We're both using real-time data, so you get an exposure to the market. We're not using synthesized data. We're not creating a false instrument. What you see is what you would get out in the real world. Number three, in market trading, you would have isolated performance. That is, you're only able really to gauge your own individual performance, as opposed to comparative performance in gamified trading. Now, in isolated performance, most traders simply track the P&L. Am I making money or not? We know in most cases the answer to that would be not. In gamified trading, I was always interested about whether it's possible to build a system that is able to rank people against each other. So that's part of what we've done. Moving on, in trading, there is the potential of high profits. If you've managed to achieve that, well done. We clearly know that is not the outcome for most people, unfortunately. Under gamified trading on Trade Arena, we define the profits, i.e. we are able to set the targets, what we reward people for doing. Their performance measures, we can award basically prizes on all sorts of metrics that we choose. Next, multi-instrument versus single instrument. Now, in the market trading scenario, clearly, you can trade anything you like as long as you've got sufficient funds in your account. You can trade a wide variety of instruments and hedge one against the other, and you can engage in complex portfolio management techniques. We haven't done that. Everything else is equal. Everyone has the same technical analysis skills. It's a more pure measure of technical skill. Capital required. Clearly, if you're going to open a trading account, you have to put funds in to buy whatever you're going to buy. Even under leverage trading, you have to put some money into the account. Under gamified trading, you don't have to put any money in the account because you're not actually buying the underlying asset. You are using a subscription to compete against other traders. So basically, Trade Arena retains the competitive element of trading. So this basically means that, you might have seen, you might have been wondering at this stage, well, okay, how does this differ from demo accounts? I've seen demo accounts before. Everybody soon realizes, A, it's pretty boring, and B, the element of psychology with trading goes right out of the window because there's nothing at stake. So people soon grow very tired of doing that and start trading, probably in sizes that they shouldn't be trading, which is one of the causes of ultimate disaster. So, it's important to have some element of risk. You're competing for something when you place trades. This is fundamentally how it differs to pure demo trading.
Okay.
So I'll just hand over to Louis, who's just going to take us through the live demo of the platform and how we've implemented some of these features.
Great, thank you, Richard. So, yes, hopefully the moment you've all been waiting for, the live demo. They do say never work with children, animals, or live demos. So anything could happen because it is real data in real time. I want to also set the expectation here. We're not going to see Pac-Mans kind of wandering across the screen, although if someone comes up with a concept that could work in the concept of trading, then we would certainly look at it. I guess if you remember back to the days of battle chess, which was probably laughed at, it turned out to be enormously successful. And if Michael Carls is listening in right now, yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great to chat. I guess he's probably busy. So let's get on with the live demo. I will bring across a live account. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is kind of talk you through the zones of the screen, because what we've done here is we have attempted to simplify as much as possible a trading platform to make it gamifiable. Most people will be familiar with trading platforms, and they're pretty complex. They take quite some time to get your head around. So we've tried to really strip that down and make a platform that we can essentially make into a game. So what we got is we've zoned it up here. So the top ribbon area of the application allows the user to interact, whether that's adding a chart, adding a trade, adding indicators, drawing tools, and so on. So the main chart area is fairly self-explanatory. Shows chart in real time. I can do all the normal things I would be expected to do in a real charting application. I can move around. I can zoom on certain trades. I can kind of look at certain elements of the of the chart. I've got this on auto scaling, which I find quite handy. It just automatically scales wherever I move about, to something so it looks good on the screen. So the other areas of the application split down into essentially the trade grid, which we'll see in a minute when the trade goes on. That shows all the trade information, again similar to you'd see in a real charting application. The live ranking, that shows in real time where people are, who's at the top. There's actually other information encoded in this. It kind of tells me who's online at this moment in time, who's got demo accounts, live accounts, and also the final element of the screen is the top day traders. So this is kind of a second level ranking. So I can look up who's won on any certain day. So I want to look up who won on the first, just click on their account and came up and set the screen. There we are. So I can now contact this person, say, hi Lisa, I saw you won on the the other day on the first. How'd it go? You've got that social interaction in there. So let's put a trade on. I'm going to change it to 1 minute bars just so you can see kind of more bars on the screen during our limited demo time. So I've changed the bar period to 1 minute, and that should bring up a 1 minute bar chart. There we go. Now, supposing I have looked at the day, and I'm saying, okay, what have I got here? I've got, I can put other indicators on. But let's supposing I am just looking at the high, mid, lows. I'm saying, well, actually, it's pretty much midpoint here, but we have had highs. We haven't yet had lows. But let's just supposing using my trading analysis, I have decided to take a short on this trade.
Go long, Louis.
Go long.
Don't short that.
On Richard's advice, I'll go long.
We'll put you in the competition, Louis.
Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to put a stop loss and profit target on there. So let me put a stop loss of where we are, 169. I'll put myself a stop loss of 20 points and a profit target of 100 points. Enable those features. Take my long, and there I am. I've taken my trade on. You'll notice a number of things happen instantly at this point in time. So yeah, so the first thing that's happened is obviously taking a trade. I've gone into the trades grid here. There I am along. There's my enter price and enter time, and here's my profit target, which I've put in, which is 100 points above, and stop loss 20 points below my entry price. And it's tracking here my current P&L and total P&L. This is only one trade, so obviously the total and the current will be the same. There are some additional metrics I'll come back to. These are the ones in blue. I'll come back to that in a moment. But the other thing to notice is here we are. We've entered the competition. You just see we are fourth position simply because we've gone in at just marginally minus 1.74 trade P&L. So we can see ourselves ranking in the competition. In fact, we can just see we've just gone down to 5. So you can clearly see how you're performing in real time compared to everyone else. So essentially, the platform assesses performance and ranks automatically. And if I've made a trade, I've made a loss, it's not going to cost me anything. I've paid my subscription for the month. It simply affects my ranking on the ranking table, and hopefully I can perform better tomorrow and move up the ranking. I just want to mention one other thing here, and that is the super fund. So because we've got complete control over the platform, we've designed this from the ground up. It gives us the ability to create additional competitions. So totally in parallel to this existing monthly ranking, we've also got a super fund ranking, which is a set of performance metrics that traders have to meet in order to win the super fund, which is $1,000. So I think the point here is it's a very flexible platform. We've got the ability to create all sorts of competitions based on all sorts of metrics, as Richard has mentioned, not just the P&L at the end of the month or even the day.
I would just reiterate there that, as Louis said, it's possible to create, any contests we want out of the data that we have. Because we have, full trade statistics. We know how long people were in trades. We know the drawdown. We know the maximum adverse excursion. That's how far the trade went against you before it went into profit. So because we have all this data, we can create any contests that we like. So for instance, we can create a contest for traders with a minimum drawdown. This creates a very significant difference between trading the actual market and the kind of ring fence platform that we have here. You don't need to win, to be able to win. I think that is the distinction. And certainly when I was trading, having these kind of added incentives in the early days, I think it makes all the difference. It encourages people to track their own performance, which is really the key to successful trading, in my view. One of the keys. It's not really about where you buy and sell. Most people, newcomers to trading, think it's about trying to find the perfect entry point and the perfect exit point. This can never be done. What matters is your psychology within a trade and how you manage the open trades. So we're trying to create that sort of mindset within the trading community who use the platform.
Cool. Thanks, Richard. I'm just going to close this trade out, actually, because I've decided.
A long worked out for you then.
Yeah, it is. I'm now second. I've ranked up to 18.7 points, and I'm second in the competition. Amazing. There's the trading to the trade exit there, and the line showing trade entry and exit.
Yeah, so in summary, we've developed a new platform designed to create innovative trading competitions. And this is very important to stress. You've probably seen trading competitions before, run by brokers. Where you join a demo trading competition and you all have a go trading, and at the end of, say, a month, there was a winner, and they're given supposedly $10,000 to trade with. There is a distinction here that I would quite like to draw your attention to. Most of these trading competitions are run by brokers, and the point of that is to ultimately get people's business. We're not a broker, and we're not trying to sign people up or get their capital or churn accounts. We're not doing that. And the other thing is, we want to reward people with real rewards and incentives that they can actually spend. We're not crediting an account with tokens or theoretical trading credits. We want to reward people with cash effectively. The gamification opens new possibilities over and above traditional market trading, and we're quite excited to develop this. And of course, if you'd like to get involved, we're currently developing mobile and Android applications, and we're looking to create more game levels and more social interaction, as mentioned. If you'd like to get involved, any questions, we'd love to hear from you.
Free gift. I did promise that. So we currently offer 7-day accounts, full functionality, but without prize eligibility. They're free accounts. So we don't normally offer prizes for those accounts. However, we are able to offer you a month's free account with prize eligibility, so you can win with your first month's free account. To do that, what you have to do is go to our website, tradearena.net, click the Join Now button, enter the promo code WebinarFree, and we very much hope to see you on the other side.